Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So you might already be aware of that or have seen reels or media coverages that international students in Toronto have protested against high international tuition fees. So I was also amongst them. We were actively advocating against that. So this video is going to be a little more about that. What were the students' reaction? What were the result of that? And what numbers we have in order to back up our protest. So let's go.
This is why we want them to stop it right now, and we want government to take strict actions to regulate colleges, to decrease the cap, because we are international students. As much as we need Canada, Canada needs us. Your voice, you and your story matters. Thank you.
All this planning about this protest has took around more than 3 months, and there were many of the student associations across Ontario. For example, there was Centennial College Student Association, there was Conestoga, Humber College, Cambrian, and many more student associations as well, which were actively involved in pulling off this idea of protesting against international tuition fees. So first of all, why we did that? Many of the folks have this myth that we have done that because international tuition is so much and our domestic tuition is very little. So that's the reason we have protested, but that is not the case. That is partially true. The actual truth is international tuition fees is subjected to increase 20% each year. And whereas for domestic students, their tuition is increasing just at 3% a year. So that was our number one ask from the government, to lower this 20% cap and bring it down to 3%. So because it's okay, we weren't asking government to reduce the international tuition, but we were just saying, just stop this cap. It shouldn't increase with the rate it is increasing right now. So that was backed up with evidences how everything was being played in the previous years. One of our another asks was to increase the funding. You might be aware, Ontario provides the least amount of education funding to the colleges. And when I was seeing the stats, I was shocked. Like Ontario, there are many number of international students, those who are coming to Ontario. Provincial government is giving them so low funding in education. So if we just look out how the tuition for international students is determined, most of it comes from the low funding from the government. Colleges get low funding from provincial government, so they rely majorly on international tuition fees for their operations, for their infrastructure and whatnot. So this reliance of colleges on international tuitions, this is unsustainable. So that was our another ask, that we were asking from provincial government of Ontario to increase the education funding to the colleges, so that then we can advocate, then we can say to the colleges, now you're getting the funding, so now reduce the international tuition fees. So that was another major reason we were protesting. Let's talk about student reactions. And it was really very surprising. Many of the international students themselves were saying, no, we cannot expect Canadian government to reduce the fees because Canada's GDP is dependent solely on international students and they are earning a lot, so why they will even care for decreasing the fees? But that is not the case, because we have just saw the right explanation of this protest and why this protest was done. So that was the reason. And there were many of the international students, those who were so happy that at least someone has stood against this inequitable system, because before that there was very less advocacy on international tuition fees. And let's talk about the solution. What was the solution? The reason is, it wasn't a one-day thing. We cannot expect government to come the next day and make changes in their policies and laws and do what we are asking for. It's a long years game, because advocacy takes time. But I'm really happy this was the first thing. It was very brave initiative being took by student associations, and things are quite positive on the other end. We can see the light on the farther end of the tunnel. So that's the reason it's going to take some of the time. For example, as the 20 hours cap has been lifted from the work for international students, this thing was being advocated from years, which have taken place in this year. So that's the reason, but we'll keep on advocating for that, and let's see where the things go. It was short video but very informative, so I'll just put all the links to it in the description below, in which you can support us, student associations, and this advocacy campaign. That's it for today's video. See you in the next video. Subscribe until then. Bye bye, take care.